Willkommen zu einer neuen Folge Vampyr auf meinem Kanal. Apropos, ich habe euch noch gar nicht diese Karte gezeigt von dem Gebiet hier oder von dem Spiel. Die ist gar nicht mal so klein, wie man denkt. Also das hier ist die komplette Karte. Whitechapel, West End, Norddocks, Western Docks und die Docks und hier Krankenhaus. Und hier geht's auch nochmal weiter. Also hier wird definitiv noch einiges auf uns zukommen. Und soweit ich weiß, war das gar nicht mal so einfach gewesen. Also ich hatte schon damals mega zu kämpfen gehabt. Und wir quatschen jetzt erstmal mit den Leuten aus dem Westflügel. Das gehen wir gleich mal an. Um das hier schnell abzuschließen. Genau, hier fange ich mit dir an.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
Leben in London.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
Die spanische Grippe wird
Nurse
nicht
Hawkins,
ewig dauern.
the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
Wie kommt das Personal
How is the
zurecht?
Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Milton Hawks, das ist doch
Why
der
does
draußen.
Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Okay, nun Beziehung.
Pepper, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes, Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins. But are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, we break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke. But we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
Okay, persönliche Fragen. Nichts, okay.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Gut, wen haben wir noch hier? Kann man mit euch reden?
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here.
Vor allem Chefchirurg.
Am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Okay.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Okay,
Goodbye
fehlen
for
noch
now,
Hinweise. Es fehlen Hinweise. Wo ist die andere Verletzte hier hin? Ist die abgehauen? Hey, ich will dich interviewen. Komm zurück.
It's locked, all right.
Verschlossen. Da ist der Kollege, wo wir aussaugen wollten hier.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Ach so, das ist der Typ, den wir gerettet haben. Ganz am Anfang.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Okay.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I
Ja,
can go back to the
normalerweise.
people who need me.
Normalerweise müsste der sich eigentlich verwandeln, wenn der gebissen wurde.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Okay.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
3000 kriege ich für den. Na, das ist doch schon viel. Brauche ich Stufe 6? Ne, kann ich nicht aussaugen. Was mit dem hier? Erschöpft.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Okay, bis später. Du fehlst noch, du bist abgehauen.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon.
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover, to hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Öffentliche Untersuchung. Ja. Ist hier das? Was? Die habe ich abgeschlossen? Was? Was? Verstehe ich nicht. Was ist hier? Okay. Mhm.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard's syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul. Or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Mhm.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
It was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Gut.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Keinerlei Anstand, alles nur Lügner. So, gehen wir nochmal zu dem Typen da draußen, zu dem Händler. Da habe ich ja eine neue Information freigeschalten. Wo war denn der Ausgang? Hier nicht. Hier, oder? Ja.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
Okay, das hatten wir schon. Hier, oder? Ja.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
Okay.
Goodbye, Milton.
So, jetzt könnten wir endlich hochgehen. Unser Zimmer zu finden. Was ist hier? Ah, hier kann man was plündern. Langer Brief. So rennt denn der auf einmal so schnell? Hä?
It's locked.
Not now. Please come back later.
Ach, das ist Dr. Swansea, okay. Dr. Swansea. Da kann man nicht rein. Was gibt's hier? Abgenutzte Säge, neue Waffe. Edwards Patientenakte. Flasche billiger Gin.
I cannot enter.
Verschlossen.
This must be the place.
Okay, das ist mein
It's
Unterschlupf.
definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Hier ist mein Koffer. Dr. Swanseas Nachricht.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Ah, Brief. Okay, da ist mein Bett. Das ist meine Truhe. Was ist dann das hier? Ah, cool. Wie, wo, was? Das hier? Ah. Die hier, oder? Ja. Das kann man da machen, verursacht Schaden um 10%. Okay, lass mal das mal. Was kann ich jetzt hier machen?
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The flower's dying. It needs water.
Was ist das für ein Kopf? Ausruhen, gehen wir uns später. Ich will ja erstmal noch ein bisschen was abschließen. Gut, hier war noch eine Treppe, oder? Ja, da hinten. Da gehen wir nochmal schnell hoch. Sehen, ob es da weitergeht. Nee, ist auch verschlossen. Schade. Schade, schade. Dann gehen wir zum Kopf. Keine Ahnung, was das sein soll. Ob das die Nebenmission ist.
About this unfair situation. I managed to arrange to have you buried in the same mass grave as your wife. I hope that might help.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Okay.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Jetzt haben wir noch das
Since you're
Blaue.
not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is, we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
Personenkreis. Auch 3000, aber den kann ich auch wieder nicht aussaugen. Mensch, Mensch, Mensch. 4000 wäre cool. 3000.
Goodbye, Mr. Chidana.
I'm sorry that these sad and faded walls are all I have to offer as a final resting place. This is a poor hospital, you know.
It's locked.
Aber jetzt ist doch dieser Kopf verschwunden. Was war denn das? Jetzt ist... Was?
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me, what a bloody...
managed to arrange to have you buried in the same mass grave as your wife. I hope that...
Ups. Also irgendwo hier sollte irgendetwas sein, im Umkreis wahrscheinlich. Okay, dann muss ich mal suchen. Dann muss ich mal suchen. Ups. Da geht's rein. Stufe 7. Alter. Okay. Ah, hier. Kopf. Erkundungsmission. Okay, kleines Fläschchen. Okay, man muss sich wahrscheinlich erstmal über diese Brücke hier. Ja. 100 Meter. Bedenklich. Okay. Ruh dich aus, um dich zu entwickeln. Wenn das da schon steht, dann wird schon einiges auf uns zukommen. Schreit denn da? Ich glaube, ich will gar nicht da hoch. Stufe 18. Keine Chance. Keine Chance. Ich bin Stufe 4. Stufe 12. Ich glaube, ich sollte noch gar nicht hier sein. Ich glaube, ich muss mich doch erstmal ausruhen. Ich muss ein bisschen leveln. Deswegen steht es auch da oben. Weil ich gehe hier drauf.
My sweet girl. Reads me like a book.
Falscher Raum. Sehen, ob ich die hier nochmal voll quatschen kann. Wo sind die hin? Wo ist die hin? Da.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
Sie leidet an Wahnvorstellungen.
You are no vampire. You are a delusional woman, convinced she is something she is not.
How convenient to call delusional anyone who does not share your precious rationale, Dr. Reed.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Herrin der Dunkelheit. Gut, das Bett war hier drüben. Kann ich hier ans Wasser gehen?
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Irgendwie konnte ich die Blume gießen. Wasser ist hier, aber ich brauche ein Gefäß. Ah, ich habe keinen Plan mehr, wo ich das herbekomme. $2000. Scheiße. $300, $600 machen wir auch noch. Hä? Stufe 6 benötigt, yo. Gut, dann werde ich mir erst nochmal Heilgegenstände herstellen. Die folgende Nacht. Ich bin nur nachts unterwegs.
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my...
Sieh an der Tür nach.
thirst for blood?
Ich kann mir überhaupt kein Dings herstellen. Was brauche ich denn? Noch gar nichts gefunden, ist aber schwach.
Hurry now, Doctor, it's freezing here.
Was will die?
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse. It's locked, all right.
Ah, hier geht's auch noch eine Treppe hoch. Kann ich aber auch nichts machen. So, wir können jetzt mal versuchen. Naja, Stufe 5 ist jetzt auch nicht gerade viel besser. Na gut, gehen wir erstmal in die Leichenhalle. Gehen wir in die Leichenhalle. Kleines Fläschchen. Ist das die Leichenhalle?
I cannot enter.
No. Ich bin hier irgendwie falsch. Aha, da ist die Leichenhalle. Gut, geh mal rein. Jetzt gehen wir ein paar Leichen töten. Die Leichenhalle. Oh je. Ich geh wieder raus. Was war hier? Oh je. Will ich hier sein oder will ich hier nicht sein? Glasviole. Da gelange ich wieder nach draußen. Okay, hier drin ist aber nichts. Leerer Raum. Da geht's in den Keller. Ja, Keller.
It's locked.
Fünf Schilling. So, hier sollte ich was finden, oder etwa nicht? Hier ist gar nichts. Gehen wir nach oben. Stufe 6, ja, das ist schon eher mein Gebiet hier. Ist hier drin auch noch was? Jo.
Balls of Mars. Fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
Okay, hier ist nichts mehr.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
Zigarettenetui. Ist zu.
I cannot enter.
Auch verschlossen. Die meisten Türen sind hier verschlossen irgendwie.
This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
Schlüssel zur Leichenhalle, also nach unten. Oh, hallo. Wie bist du denn? War das hier vielleicht? Kann ich da rein?
It's locked, all right.
Also doch nach unten. Nach unten in den Keller. Aber wir könnten auch erstmal nach oben gehen. Mal schauen, was da ist. Erstmal einen Weg zu Ende machen. Ist zu. Wässrig, reichhaltige Blutviole. Gut, also runter. Wo bist du hin? Wo ist der hin? Nö. Noch nö. Das ist doch eine Falle.
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after me.
Okay, der eine ist da reingelaufen, also wird der dort irgendwo warten. Schrotpatrone. Was? Achso. Okay. Ich muss hier wirklich jede Ecke abgucken, um in keinem Hinterhalt zu geraten. Todesschein.
Mr. Connor's in...
Eine Waffe? Okay. Abgenutztes Amputationsmesser.
Jurors don't match the report. I'd better look into this.
Okay, da ist dieses Monster, das machen wir auch erstmal tot. Stufe 5.
Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? The chest was originally opened to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. A puncture over the left lung. Possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then, he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked.
Okay.
It's locked.
Gut, liebe Leute, an dieser Stelle würde ich sagen, machen wir die Folge zu Ende. Wir gehen dann weiter in die Leichenhalle hinein. Vergesst kein Däumchen da zu lassen, wenn euch das Video gefallen hat. Ein Däumchen bitte nach oben, wenn nicht, ein Däumchen nach unten. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss und haut rein.